Mines also. I'm guessing he's getting Spider Mines. And third factor going up for Piano, so I guess he's going for an all mechanized build. I guess just getting those 2 racks in case an early rush was coming and seeing none. Now, Scourge actually were produced for MuMyung, and one of them gets killed. Looks like they were trying to intercept the brown Mulisks from Max as they were popping up, but weren't successful. Now Spider Mine's being laid in the middle of the map, so it looks like actually it's going to be a heavy Vulture build here from Piano. And looks like actually a shuttle plus a robotic support bay going up for you. So definitely a different game here, very different from what we've seen recently. Usually we do see a fast Templar build into DTs and high Templars, and now we're seeing a Reaver drop coming up for you. But the great danger is, of course, all those Scourge are going to be flying around, and the Mulisks, which will be able to pick off those units quite easily if MuMyung doesn't get the aerial advantage. And MuMyung looks like attack going on in MuMyung's space. It's going to come up to his Mulisk and Scourge micro to see who wins this. They should be at exactly the same amount of gas, though. It looks like Max just trying to pick off a couple of Zealots in the front here. Let's see how good his Mulisk on Scourge micro is. Of course, that's essential. Goliath's now being built for Piano. Of course, I should have mentioned that glides obviously are an obvious thing you can do in for the Terran player against Mulisks. Of course, the glides aren't that strong against Protoss ground units. Looks like the attack coming in here. A couple of Scourge manage to land on top of Max's Mulisks, and looks like these Vultures are forcing Foru back a little bit. Foru needs to get a couple observers now to deal with these mines, and that's partially probably why he went for the robotics facility. Bunch of Max's Scourge also moving across the map. Maybe he's going to leave a couple on top of Piano's base to protect against the drop. Who knows if they're that foresighted? And it looks like now Foru's gonna come out of his base, and importantly, he's got his shuttle there. That shuttle is absolutely precious, though. He cannot lose that shuttle, and looks like a couple of Vultures trying to come in here. Now Foru is moving out and clearing out the minefields around his base. Looks like they're still pressing in on MuMyung's base, though. MuMyung might be in a bit of trouble here because some Goliaths are coming up to support, and if they take down the Sunkens, it's going to be in big trouble. Good micro, though, against the Scourge. I don't think a single Scourge managed to land against it, but looks like, in the meanwhile, a lot of drones were picked off by Max there, so Max taking a definite advantage in the Zerg versus Zerg here, managing to have just about 5 seconds over the drone line, but those 5 seconds were essential. He picked off at least 4 or 5 drones, and those are absolutely precious in Zerg versus Zerg. Now forced to retreat here from MuMyung. MuMyung's getting a lot of his Mulisk picked off, but looks like he might have a slight Mulisk advantage now. I'm not sure. Mulisk getting picked off by the Dragoons there. Still a lot of aerial combat going on inside of his base, and really you don't want to be fighting inside your base when you're having a Mulisk air fight, because it's just not the place to be. Looks like, oh, the shuttle gets picked off by the Goliaths. Oh, terrible there, and the Dragoon and the Reaver gets picked off. So Foru now terribly behind, unfortunately. I think this is really going to be very difficult for Air Force Ace to recover from, because that shuttle was absolutely vital in the build that Foru was going for, and it looks like his Dragoons are going to get picked off piece by piece here by the Mulisks here, and wow, now they're in huge trouble. MuMyung is going to be in huge trouble. The Goliaths might be able to walk up the main here. It looks like they're going to try to do just that. I'm not sure if there's enough, but it looks like he's just going all in here for the attack, and I think MuMyung is going to be in big trouble. The Goliaths and the Mulisks will pick off the Sunkens. I think he's going to be knocked out of the game here, so perhaps a strategic error, or just a too creative of a choice from Foru. Foru, I feel like he might have been more successful going for the sort of standard Templar build, getting some Archons to support his player. Looks like he's going to be going for a counterattack at Piano's base. Piano, meanwhile, doesn't have much in his base, though, so he might fall victim to these Dragoons. Looks like he's forced to pull his SCVs out, and if Foru manages to do enough damage but looks like the brown Mulisks are coming from Max, so I don't think he's going to be able to do too much damage. Looks like they will be able to pick off these Dragoons. Yes, like I was saying, I think the Templar Archives is the better choice, or even going for the Stargate and getting some Corsairs would be able to just beat back the Zerg player a lot, and then force a 2v1 on the Zerg. Looks like it's going to be a good game for Ace, so Hanbit Stars picking up their first victory in the series against Ace. Looks like a Templar Archives has been finished, the first DT coming out for you, but I don't think you can win a 2v1 like this when basically no damage has been done yet to either of his opponents. Looks like he's trying to do some damage here, but there's the Overlords and a Scanner inside of the base here, so he's really not going to be able to do much with his DT. Expansion going up for Piano, so interesting build there for you, being creative and going for the robotics facility. And also, I have to say, I have to applaud Piano for going for a mech build there. I was a little surprised he went 2 racks into mech. That's why I thought it was an academy and a factory, but he went 2 racks just perhaps to defend himself against an early rush. And looks like now the Mule is coming into Foru's base, and his GT is of no use. So Foru will not be able to win here, I don't think. But I guess he's going to fight to the very end. Air Force ACE does have a tendency of doing that. I do like that about them. Has some High Templar out, but really at this point there's not much he can do. A lot of glides here, and they might even be upgraded. Yeah, they are +1 attack. That's very useful anti-air, but not so useful anti-ground units, because it's only +1 on their twin autocannons. And now just a ton of glides and mulisks and all sorts of forces just coming in here. And yeah, that's Air Force ACE. So really interesting build by Piano going for, and GG coming from the Ace team. Interesting going for the mech build. I thought it was actually quite good. That's generally what Zerg and Terran mirror matches end up being, are mechanized builds with dropship play. But we're seeing it against a Zerg and Protoss player team working quite well here. And it might be that because also MuMyung and Foru probably haven't practiced very much together. They're both old pros, but this is the first time I'm seeing them on a 2v2 team, so they might not have so much practice. But Hanbit Stars is up now 1 game. So it's 2-1 still for Ace, and we're going to see Oversky versus Gwemchi in the next game. Stick around, guys. This is Collar.